and a non-interactive job. And if you select this option here, no, here, here, Python via singularity, you can select one of those singularity images that we are offering here. So we have, for example, this one, that is a more recent version of Python, actually, that I eventually will balance this, where I will create a native version of Python on OnDemand. But for example, this one is a image that I create for a class in physics that will offer Python 3.8 and a number of scientific packages all together, well tested and compiled. And I did that under 2 different operating systems. So if one has some issues, we have this another that probably will work fine. And also, if you want to use something like TensorFlow for the GPUs, we have several images here that you can use for that. And also, we have this one that is for mathematics, this is for abstract algebra. And I have this one other that I created recently for specific software. So we will not be using this, so you can ignore that entirely. So in summary, I just select this version, 3.7. I select standby as the queue. I select 4 hours, 4 CPUs, no GPU cards, and I add additional support for Julia. I will be using Julia. And you click here on launch. So what happens behind curtains is that OnDemand will create an interactive job for you and will offer you a quick access to the via browser into a Jupyter notebook. So it takes a little bit. So this is, let's say, normal up to a point. Yeah, okay. So you land on this page. You can also get this page if you click here. So basically, it will tell you, okay, your request one node for course is right. It's now running this Jupyter notebook, and it's running on this machine. So you get the name of the host, and you can click here, connect to Jupyter. And you end up here. This is kind of a file manager inside Jupyter. And here you can select several things. So I will demonstrate a few things here. I have a few things to show you, for example. You can go and you can open the Jupyter notebook that you already have. So and this one is one that I have just shown really quickly on what you can do. And you can, for example, execute the entire notebook here. So this is how this works. This is very similar. So some other software around like MATLAB, Mathematica, or Maple, where you create notebooks and you can start formatting those. And basically they collect the set of steps that you are executing. And you can store those. They are the way of having a reproducibility on your calculations. You have a proof that everything that you did was right. So you can show this notebook to your advisor, and you can make your case that you are doing your calculations in the proper way. So this is very good if for your master, your PhD, thinking on having what people in experimental science, experimental physics, or people in engineering, in experimental domains know very well. They have the notebooks and they have the annotations of all the conditions under which they have been doing their experiments. Same thing for the computational side of this. So getting a record of everything that you are doing in the way you are doing in such a way that you can reproduce this. You can reproduce the results. So another thing that I have here is that I can go back here and I can create a new Python 3 notebook. So this will be an entirely new notebook and I can start executing commands. Um, Nothing fancy. I will not have time to make you a full introduction to Python, just this, but I can show you a little bit some material that I have for Python here in this introduction to Python. So if you want, here I have this. Let me see if I can show you this. If you execute this line here on a terminal, and I will show you how to get that terminal. Let's take this advantage of doing this. So here I have a decent introduction to Python, and I will actually show you how to get this on a terminal. In this case, I will have to do something that I will demonstrate later. It's opening a terminal here. So this terminal is running on, again, everything is in the web browser. So this is a terminal. And here you can go, for example, OnDemand. Let's see, I will create a directory in Python. Git clone, well, actually no, actually this. I will be cloning the repository for Python. So again, what I did here was in clusters, I was opening a terminal. I was planning to show this at the very end, but it came handy to do it at this moment. So now that we have this, I can go back here. Let me see, I can go back to my own folder and I create here, I create this one. Where I actually create this? OnDemand. Okay. Into Python. Into Python. Into Python. And here I have a Python notebook. An introduction to Python. For those of you who want to learn Python. I create several notebooks actually. And with some collaborators, we have been having a good set of IPython notebooks that you can use now on this service. Introducing Python, the standard library, NumPy, for Matplotlib, SciPy, so a few packages, including Cython, and parallel computing with Python. So this is the introduction, and you can basically follow this. And there is something, so you want to start learning here. Let's say some new commands. Let me see here. First thing here. So yeah, so you can see here what you can do. A few commands. To execute the commands, you just open here and you click Shift Enter to execute this box. And this is how this works. So again, notice that we can have something with formatting with so I will show you this here in another way. So you can have here, you can insert here. I did it with a key. My fingers are faster than me. So you can create a new cell, insert a cell above, below. So you can create a cell with A or B, and you can create a cell. So this could be a title, and you can go here and make this a markdown cell, and you can make it a title like this. So you can start having formatting through that and start creating pretty much like writing a paper. You can have an abstract, you can have some thoughts about the work that's been doing here in this notebook, the steps, you can add equations if you want, tables. You can create a full notebook here. And let's go back here. Okay, what else you can do with this? Um, you can also create a Julia notebook, because I load this with the Julia environment. So you notice that it looks very similar, but it's, at this moment I'm using a different language, an entirely different language. For this kind of things, it will work the same. Let's be, that's the same thing. But let me show you, for example, here another example that I have here for the Julia tutorials. Right here, introduction to Julia. For example, here, data structure, for example. So this is written in Julia. This is slightly different. So this is how you create tuples. At this point, it actually looks very similar to Python. Let me see if I have, dictionaries. Dictionaries are different. So you will notice that this is not Python. So this is a dictionary. The idea is the same, but dictionaries, dictionaries in Julia are, the syntax is slightly different. So there you can see that I can execute this in Julia, no problem. I basically took this example from Julia Academy, so you have access to notebooks for Julia, for demonstrating Julia, and for learning. So you can take those and you can execute that on the cluster. The good thing about Julia is that Julia incorporates a few options for parallelization, for very, very fast parallelization in the language. So you can request for the course and you can do things very, very close to C speed. So to program in C or Fortran, low-level languages, and get it very precise timing, decent timings on those. So another thing that I can show you how to, that you can do here is a different environment. So I demonstrate Jupyter. Jupyter works fine. RStudio. So RStudio is actually even simpler. You just select the queue, the number of hours, number of, in this case, nodes in this sense means cores actually. I should change this. It should be cores to keep consistent naming here. So this is a different environment. For those of you who use R, who know R, this one is probably better option because you get access to all the workspace, the variables. We will see in a minute. We are working on having MATLAB and also a desktop environment, virtual desktop, eventually in the future. But right now, those things that are working are the Jupyter Notebook and the RStudio. So it's taking, okay. So after a few, couple of minutes of something, you get your RStudio server up and running. And you just click here and you get the environment on the machine. So I can start creating variables here. I'm not super familiar with this, but the basic stuff. Okay, I know I can create variables this way. And 8 times b. So, and you can make plots. The plots will appear in this place. So this is a different environment for those of you who are familiar with R. We have a relatively recent version. I plan to update this version of R for Jupyter soon. Well, that's not bad. It's not bad. It's December 2019. What else we have here? Notice one thing that is important for you to understand. You can also create a terminal here. Terminal. And this terminal is running on the compute node. So you don't have internet access on this machine. So you cannot download, you cannot execute wget or git clone or whatever here. If you want to do that, for your calculation, you need to download everything in advance. And you can also do that opening a new terminal, but from the dashboard, not from the Jupyter. The Jupyter will open the terminal on the compute node. Here, you are opening the terminal on the head node. So you can download things. That's why I did it a few minutes ago this way, cloning the repository here. And another thing is that there is a timeout here that is very short. So if you just move to something else in a couple of minutes, this terminal will disconnect. So the way of working around that or working in spite of that is to having a tmux session. So that's what I do. So I have a tmux session open. So if I get disconnected, I don't care. I will open again and reconnect and continue where I was before. So I will not be discussing tmux on this. I will discuss that on real workshops. But at this moment, yes, you can do things here. And I have my tmux session. I actually can jump here, Thorny and Spruce eventually. So even if you are working on Thorny, I use this also to jump into a Spruce. So something else that you can use is right here is clusters, Thorny flat, shell access. So you get the shell there. What else? Here, you can have a file manager. That is pretty decent. So basically, what you can do here is, let me see if I have something that I can see. I can view files, so which is handy, just for looking in files without having. You can also edit files. So let me see if I want, for example, this run this one for GPUs. I can edit this. So they open an editor. It's a very simple editor, nothing fancy, nothing. It's not Emacs or VI. It's just a plain editor, but it allows you to edit your files, small files, and get something. So, for example, I would like to do this, and I can save this file. So, yes, it's a file manager with some editing capabilities. You can create folders. Here, you can make new files. You can also open a terminal, but it's the same terminal that I just showed you here. And you can download files. So for individual files, for eventually, you can just click one file and you can download this file. So basically, you will not see this, but I got here on my screen asking, okay, you want to download this file? And the browser will take care of that and will download the file. And the file is now with me on my computer. So you can create a plot, and after you can download that image, a PDF or JPEG file back to you. It will be super easy. So also copy and paste files. So you can do a decent amount of basic file management things with this. Let me see if I can go into, for example, well, probably it's because my home folder. Well, I'm not super sure if. Oh no, that will not work. I need to check how you can access your Scratch folder. Um, I actually never tested that. What else you can do with this? Well, even if this is mostly for these interactive apps, and that's what I make them most focus on this, you can also use this to monitor all the jobs that you have on the cluster. So at this moment, I have a couple of jobs, and you can see how those jobs are moving, the details about those jobs, on which machine they are running. So you get like the same kind of information that you get when you execute qstat, the commands on, on command line terminal. Also, you can cancel jobs. So if you have many jobs here, you can just monitor those jobs, have a look on how much time they've been running, if they are close to the expiration time, the wall time, or not. So this is something that you can see. Also, you can see all the jobs from everybody. So you can also inspect if the cluster is heavily loaded or not, which jobs are in queue. So again, decent job monitor if you want, you can use with this. Let's go back to the dashboard. And here you can also use this job composer. I have to recognize that I just used a couple of things this morning to learning how I can show you today. Basically here, what I have is just, I took this. You can create jobs and edit those jobs and submit those without never actually touching a terminal. So, so this job here, for example, I create this job here, and I actually edit the parameters for this job here from the web editor that they have. Let's see. So yes, so if you are executing something, you can just edit here whatever you want to do, module load, module purge, module load, whatever. GCC 1.0 or something. And okay, and save the file. Okay, and submit this job. So all from a web interface. Let's see if I got it. Oh, great. Let's see what I did. In the meantime, if you have questions, you can start making your questions on the, what is that? The chat. If you are getting issues with this, again in the chat. We have a few people who have been using this, the RStudio, the Jupyter Notebook for a few months now. So the only thing that eventually will pop up with bug with those things with the job thing. That doesn't seem to be working fine. Is it? Nate, are you around?
He's not in the Zoom
Okay.
call.
Because I'm not getting access. I don't know if it's my connection, my internet connection, but I cannot access my dashboard anymore. So I was wondering if something happens. I'm not sure if it's my internet. Oh, I opened, I don't know. browsing. Let's say, trying to kill as many things. Maybe to open too many things. But I cannot get in. I think. Let me see. We'll check this around here. Well, the virtual machine is running. Nick or Daniel, can you check if you are getting the same thing? You can connect to Open On Demand or not?
Yeah, I can connect to it. Let me see if I can actually start something. So,
I got stuck. But I see some errors on the server. Daniel?
so far it's working. I'm trying to launch a RStudio session. It's just
Okay.
spinning right now, but I know
Just me?
that can take a minute. I can load the web main site fine. I don't have any issues with that.
Basically, I cannot connect on any browser, on any computer, I think.
I wonder
It's just me?
if it's possible that your IP got banned or something temporarily.
Great.
I can't get onto it either now.
You can, Logan?
Mm-mm.
No? Oh, so it's not just me. But on this computer, I can. Now I can. Okay.
I can now. I think I clicked on the link from the documentation.
Uh-huh.
I think there's a typo in it. It's missing the
Maybe.
HTTPS.
Maybe I never. Maybe. Let me see what I have. Oh, yes, there is a typo there. HTTPS. I saw that. In a minute, I will fix it.
tried to open the job composer and I get this big a problem occurred while initializing.
Same thing that I got.
I think so, yeah. It shows a script failed and then stack trace and it's long. And then
Yeah.
if you try to open the app anyways, it says we're sorry, but something went wrong.
Okay. That is something that I just tested this morning. I tested with a very small job and it was working. So, but it's not something that I never use, and it's something that we need to fix somehow. We need to figure it out. By the way, this is something that this is not by any means our creation. This is Ohio Supercomputer Center who create Open OnDemand. And a few clusters in US have been using it. The people in Pittsburgh Supercomputer Center use this. We have now this, so we need to check with them. We have something on our side, but at least this is something that is working. You can delete jobs from this side if you want, or you can go here and here interactive. By the way, I just update the link, Logan, on the documentation. It was HTTPS. I put HTTPS on.
Thank you.
It was. So yes, okay. So I got it working. Okay, questions?
I had a couple of quick questions about RStudio.
Okay.
So can you still use like the file searcher to pull your data sets off of like an external hard drive or something, or do you have to have all your data loaded into the HPC in order to use it?
Yes, you need to have all the data on the cluster when you use when you use everything. You use this is the same for. So the idea is the following. When you launch RStudio or Jupyter, it start executing on a compute node, and compute nodes are isolated from internet. They don't have access to internet. So you cannot download things, or you cannot upload things. So you cannot connect to, if your code requires to connect to a AWS instance for downloading something, or you need access to a remote database, you cannot do that from the computer. So what you can do is to move all the data to the cluster, to even a Scratch folder. And from there, yes, you can take the data and start using it with RStudio or Jupyter. Yeah, that will be just fine. But the answer is yes. You need to move the data to the machine, to the where you want to use. Yes.
And then the other question I had is for RStudio libraries, to load in new packages and things like that. Is it going to be able to load new packages?
You have the ability to install packages locally for you. So if you want to install your own packages or versions of some packages, you can do it. Basically, what happens is I don't remember, but Daniel can give me a hand. What is how is the line for installing packages? Install packages or something.
Install.packages.
Exactly. Install that packages, and you put that
quote package name quote parentheses. Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. So and it will check. Okay, you don't have super user capabilities. So it will ask you, do you want to install it on this location? And it will install it there on your home folder, So the only detail here is that pay attention not to put too much data on your home folder, because those packages, I mean, for example, if you are using Conda, you are using R, and you are using pip, and you're installing packages, all those packages by default go into your home folder, and your home folder is 10 gigabytes. You can control that, and you can convert the folder. I think it's R. Here, for example, if you see here is where all those packages get installed. So can you see where I am? So this is my account. So this is my username. So inside R, all the packages that you install without having root permissions, it end up being installed here. So for example, here 3.6, well, I don't have anything here, and I probably don't have anything here. But yes, let me see if I can actually can do something. Let me see if I can do this.
So and since those are being installed into your home folder, it'll remember that every time. I won't have to install packages every time.
Tell me one package. Tell me one package. Do you have any one package that you have in your mind? Tell me one.
Reader, R-E-A-D-R.
And like that?
Take out the ED at the end of installed.
Yeah, just R-E-A-D-R.
R-E-A-R-E, like that?
R-E-A-D.
R-E-A-D.
R.
Like
yep.
That. Okay.
I was saying it at the start of installed, take out ED.
Okay.
Okay, I got confused, and it was cut. So sorry for my okay. This one is special. You need to compile this one. So yes, sorry. I now have to rephrase my answer. Yes, if you don't have to compile the package, some package you need to compile it. So tell me something. Let me see. Something. So big things like what are those things that Daniel knows on? ggplot, those big packages that they are installed by default, and something that you can access is install these packages on the cluster.
The command you gave just gives the requirements for the package. It doesn't actually install it.
So it was my fault actually.
Yeah, that's what I was saying at the end at the
install packages.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Or it's install.package without the S.
Okay. So now you screw this one. Great.
You can Control C out of it.
I am doing that.
Yeah. Well, or hit the stop button. Yeah.
Okay. So install package. What I did wrong? Or is that all quotes?
You need quotes, yeah.
Okay. Yeah. It's good to have people who knows are around. Install package. Now what doing? I'm doing
so
something wrong.
You don't have the package that lets you use install package. It's okay. I understand the concept of it.
What I did? Install package.
So I think install package is a function that is within another package that you would need to install first before you can use install package.
That should come default with RStudio.
Yeah, it's install packages. Well, like here I see that it's, let me see. But anyway, so let me do it this way. Let me see if I can do it this way.
I know, I was wrong. It is an S at the end of packages.
Oh, okay. But anyway, I was trying to do this to demonstrate that you cannot do it actually, because
I auto-complete it so many times when I do it that I never actually noticed that.
Okay, so yeah, you cannot do it because you are on a compute node. You are on this machine actually. You are this machine. This is the name of the machine, by the way. So you don't have that there. But so what you can do is module. So you open a terminal like I did here. So you open a terminal here, clusters, blah blah blah, turning flat shell. So you get here, and you need R. So module load lang. What is R? R36. Oh, it depends on this. Lang GCC 8.2 something. Ah, okay, there is a visible module available. Module load R36. It will get all the. It depends on several things. Yes, many things. So this is a way to get by R362 there. So you get this in this moment. Yes, you are on a head node. So this is the name of the machine associated to the head node. So this is fine. I'm just fine here. So now I can execute and install packages and read. It's like this.
Yep.
And now we will connect to the servers. So 50 watt, 58, for example. I don't really care. So we'll download the package here. And
so all packages downloaded through this terminal instead of actually in the RStudio.
Exactly. This is what you have to do. So you have to go into the terminal on the from the head node and install the packages that you need. So,
okay.
And I'm not special, not for capabilities. So I am doing just a normal guy installing the package. Also, all those packages are here. Let me see.
So it will still put them in home, and I'll still only have to do it once. I just have to do it here.
Yes, you have to do it. You do it once. You install your own packages, the packages that you need for your research, and you get all those there for you. So perfect. Yeah, I think that I start populating this thing. So 3.6, you notice that I'm installing that packages, but that package is also bring dependencies. So it installed all the dependencies associated to that. That is why it's taking a little while. Now it's installing this crayon, whatever. And something that I'm not sure is if I can load the library right now, or I have to load a new one now.
Okay.
We will see. We will see. Actually, we will explore it. We will answer this question.
Will the recording for today's session be emailed out afterwards?
Recording this session?
Yeah, we probably can. I started recording it. I was a few minutes late, so I missed the very start of it.
Okay.
I missed the first like 5 minutes.
Okay.
But I've been recording since.
Okay. Yeah, I'm just curious because I'm gonna have to head out for a class, and so I'd like to.
No, but anyway, so here again, here I basically wrote the documentation for this step by step what you have to do for getting into the dashboard and opening Jupyter, and here RStudio. So you have that code. Also the file manager and the job manager are the third. So I hope I don't time out here with this.
In case I forget to email out the recording, it'll be on that, should be on that YouTube page eventually.
Okay.
All right. Awesome. Thank you so much.
Okay, perfect. Okay.
Thanks. Bye.
Bye. Okay, any other question? And Logan, how are you? What are you doing?
I'm good. Just been doing school.
Okay. So what do you want to do with that code? Do you agree that we should fork that code and start making changes to it? So what I was proposing to you, and eventually you can discuss that with your advisor, is that I can take that code, you give me the link to it, and make a fork. and make that fork on our repository for WVU. Make it public, so it will remain public. But now at this moment, you, your advisor, me, we have control on that repo, and we can start making changes to that code. That's one thing. Another thing is that something that the first thing that we can do with that code is something that I can put on my shoulders and do it. Is to create a build system for that code. So something that you execute instead of having to edit make files and having to compile this DP and something, and having to compile this other thing that I don't remember the name. Having something that you configure and you select a few options and you get the package compile like a library and like a software, all that properly compile. Now, we need to figure it out that everything is working fine and